Just getting all the buttons going, you know. You guys know. I'm actually gonna do mostly a talking show. And then I did have a small part where I wanted to show a little movement. So that's why there's a little space in the camera. But yeah, we're gonna start like we normally do, a little bit of breathing. I already did some yoga that I will share after or during. You know, I'm learning, but I've already shared yoga from this morning when I had more energy, and I have that recorded for anyone that actually wants like to move their body, you know. But at this time of night, like the only downside to coming on this late is I don't really want to do a whole lot of yoga sometimes like, yeah, but most of the times it's chill mode for me. But I also like, I kind of feel like it's a really cool opportunity to split the show a little, to take a break for that 3-minute workout that I do, and just give the cues so that, you know, anybody that wants to do it, they can do that like right from wherever they stream, YouTube or whatever. And then like for this part, like I want to talk and interact, and I feel like in my mind for this moment, it kind of feels like it gives me the best of both worlds, if that makes sense. You know, so the other part isn't necessarily live because it's just easier to record it from one device. But, you know, again, always changing. But yeah, I felt like that was really cool. And I really like, I had this really fun thought today. Today's Thursday, and, you know, I do realize that a lot of the days feel a little like they're blurring together. But before they did that, like a lot of times on Thursdays, we did Thankful Thursday, right? Or, you know, appreciation time. And I just kind of wanted to talk about that, gratitude practices, why do them, and then a few examples of like actually how to do them, in case you're curious. And if you come on while we're here, I'm going to have the other screen closer so that I can read and talk. I'd love any questions, any comments as we go. And then I'm just going to get started. I think I'm going to scoot this screen a little closer because for right now, we're just going to be talking and I don't want to be so far away. And I'll turn our music down. All right. It's funny, I was thinking about 7:44. And I swear there's a time from something. I just don't remember what it was. But yeah, it's funny. Like I logged on when I looked at that thing. It said 7:43. I was like, wow, I fucking called that. I came down sooner, but you know, it just takes a minute to get like things situated, and you know, I kind of figured, like, why put the pressure of a real time? Like, I don't have to do it that way anymore. It's gonna be between this time and this time, like when I can get away from my family without leaving them stressed, you know? I feel like it's so cool to like to say, oh, I'm just like this window. This is a good window, you know? And I realize that doesn't work for everybody, but for right now, it's really, it's good, you know? And I feel like that's a good thing. All right. It's very strangely quiet. Let me see what's happening. I guess that's a good thing, right? Boy. Okay. Let's turn this down. So loud. So, I I'm going to just start talking a little bit about gratitude while I am pushing buttons, because I'm super talented like that. I know a lot of us, especially, you know, people that practice mindful practices, like, do talk about, you know, appreciation and practicing gratitude. And I was just wondering, like, how many people really know why, at least from an energy attraction perspective, why it's great. And then I just was wondering, like what are your practices? Like, what do they look like? And I just had a few that I was thinking I'd show you guys while we're here, in case you don't have an actual, like, gratitude practice and you wanted to experiment with that some and see how it, like, lands in your experience, see if it makes any changes or, like, shifts anything. And I even wanted to talk about that a little bit. So first, let's talk about why. Why gratitude? Why do something like that? Like, it sounds a little like meh, I mean, maybe that's just me. I used to be, like, such a skeptical person, like, cynical and sarcastic, and that was, like, my tempo. Like, that was where I was all the time. But it even to say that, because, like, I'd hear somebody saying something positive, and in my head, like, I'd be running, like, this story, bullshit, because, like, I just got to a place where I couldn't even believe that stuff anymore. Like, I couldn't believe in positive things. I couldn't believe people could just be happy. Anytime somebody would talk about gratitude before I really started, like, all of this stuff, I just said bullshit. So a lot of times when I'm speaking from a not now perspective, I'm speaking to that person that I've come from personally. Like, all of this is personal experience. So why gratitude? Because, first of all, gratitude is a very high frequency as far as, like, a vibration in our body, a feeling in our belly. It's a very high frequency, which means it's immediately, automatically, if true and authentic, aligned with your higher power, your source, right? And then another reason is because you're always attracting, like, in every moment you're attracting. And because, like, right now you might be just sitting and chilling, and that's what you usually do around this time, you kind of got that momentum going. You have that expectation going. And because we do attract, and I realize at this point there are pretty limited ideas and ways that things could shake things up. But, I don't even want to go there for anybody, but But anyway, when you can start practicing gratitude, you start attracting that sort of a feeling. You start attracting that high vibration. Initially, it's going to kind of feel awkward and, like, fake. Like, like if you haven't been doing that. But it eventually can lead up to a space where you're finding yourself reaching for an appreciation more often. I also wanted to talk a little bit about reaching for appreciation when you are feeling like you are unhappy, and, like, why to do that. So I just had a couple of, like, tidbits I wanted to go through there. Let me just push this a couple more times, and then we'll get started. So one way that we can practice gratitude, obviously, is just by thinking appreciation, or thinking, like, thoughtful things in that way. Like, I'm really appreciative for this, XYZ. But you can even take it a step further and like kind of focus, emotionalize on it, on the situation, and make that whole practice like even more powerful, even more strong. So what I mean by that is when you take a feeling like gratitude and then you spend a few minutes thinking on it and practicing it, like practicing it as in, I'll show you in just 1 second. All right, I'm going to be done. All right, done. I'll stop. So as in practicing, how would you practice gratitude besides just thinking it? Well, you could write it down. Like you could have a journal. You could just have paper if you wanted, like a note card. But I usually write in a journal. And you could write down just things that you're grateful for. You could write, just like the meal, dinner time. You could write down, the walk or a bird. You know what I mean? You don't have to write down whole stories. But each time you're writing down those things, you take a minute and you write it down and then you sit with it. And you try to get like 30 seconds going. But you kind of sit and think about it. Think about what that meant when it was like that event that brought you that gratitude. Think about how happy you were. Let the feeling come back in your belly. Let the cheeks fill. You know what I mean? We know what it feels like when we're feeling gratitude. Okay? When you feel like you've milked it, you've gotten it out of that one, you go to the next one. You write next one, X, blah, blah, blah. And I say if you're going to write it down this way, pick 3 to 5 different things. And that way you're at least doing this for 3 minutes, and 5 minutes is really great. But then you write down the next thing, like you write down dinner time, and you sit and you shut your eyes and you just think about dinner time for a couple of seconds. And you think about, the food was really good. The conversation was really good. And then when so-and-so said, what she said, and then, oh my God, the laughing and even cleanup. The cleanup went really well, and God, that was just a really nice little dinner time. I really appreciated that. And just sit with that feeling for a minute. And when you feel like you've kind of gotten it, like that's it, there it is, there it was, you write down the next one. The walk earlier. And then you sit in there and you start, being outside in the fresh air, looking at all the bright skies, going up and down the hills, knowing the rain was coming and being in the middle of the rain, laughing and running home in the rain and getting all dry and getting a snack. And that was that, And then the next one, you write down another thing. And you kind of spend a few minutes actually thinking about what you're appreciating. And when you're doing this, you're purposely spending, first of all, you're being present. That's a really good way to bring yourself present. It's a really good way to bring yourself into a higher frequency. If you're not already there, it can bring you up, or it can just help maintain a really good feeling day, like if you're already in a good mood. A way that you can also do this, I wanted to talk about, is to kind of like, if you're feeling like anxiety, I know I still do like manage anxiety in my body. So sometimes, because I'm used to catching it now, like I don't let it get out of control. Like as soon as I can start feeling it in my throat, because I listen to my body, you know what I mean? I don't let it get farther. Like as soon as I feel it from belly to throat, I'm like, oh gosh, we need to stop. Like, this isn't the time to keep pushing. I need to pay attention to myself. Because once it starts spinning for me, then it gets so quick, and then I'm getting confused. I'm like snapping around at whoever's there because I'm disoriented and I'm trying to like focus, and I feel like every single thing is a distraction, and because now I do spend time focusing. When I feel unfocused and out of whack, like it feels kind of a mess, and I'm doing way better with it. But back when this first started, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't even say some of the things that like I had to look up and consult with other coaches and, people that have gone through this work, because I was like, guys, I think I need help, because I would lash out, and the anger and the rage, because I'd be so upset that I didn't feel good anymore, Of course, after practicing, you realize you just start over. You just take a nap, and it is less serious. Back then, I would be so upset to feel like it ruined my day. Like my momentum was smashed, But now I feel like I just take it easy all the time. And the easier you take it, the easier it just keeps going. The same way when you practice gratitude. You practice a little bit, and then it just keeps going. So a way to downgrade like anxiety or fear or that feeling when it goes from up to belly and it's in your throat, and now it's going to start going in all the spins, right? So for me, one way to do that is kind of physically walk that feeling out of my body. And so I'll take like a point across the room. I usually am in the kitchen. So I'd start like from here, and I'd walk to like where you guys are. And I think I'll just sit on I know this is going to be funny, but I'm just going to like be on like my knees just so I can be in the video. But I'd be walking if we were in like a human person. I mean, you could always crawl if you want, whatevs. So this would be the first step. And I'm feeling anxiety, and I know that I am, and I'm being present, and I want to practice downgrading this feeling. I want to get out of it. I don't want to get lost in an anxiety attack. I'm going to try to practice this gratitude practice to see if this could help me. You're consciously telling yourself all this, Once you do it, it gets a little more comfortable and it's not so awkward. But, initially you have to say, I'm doing this on purpose. You don't just start, I am thankful for, because that's bullshit. That's not going to work. And then so let's say, okay, let me give you a full example, because what am I having anxiety about? Okay, let's have anxiety about buying groceries next month. I'm a mom. That used to be a huge anxiety for me. When I did the daycare, like Spoon did have enough money, but that was what I took care of. Like the groceries were my responsibility. So I worry, like if a client didn't need me, will I be able to fulfill my duties? Am I going to ripple into his things? It felt very, very stressful. So had I still be in that position now, I could be swirling with fear and anxiety right now. So a way to just talk just to that spectrum, because I'm very familiar with how that feels. That's just an example. But you can use this with anything. You can use this with, I'm afraid I'm not going to be well. I'm afraid, that my partner isn't being safe on the street, or whatever it is. You can use the same idea, but the same process. And I like to give yourself like 5 or 6 steps, 5 or 6 spaces, right? To move, because it takes a minute to shift, especially when you're about to fucking flip out. So you start at the beginning. I'm consciously doing this. I'm afraid about money, right? And I say to myself, right now I have enough food in my home, and I am thankful for that. I take a step, because that is a true statement, and I feel thankful in my body. You have to say things that are real to you. If you need help with the words, I'm happy to help, but they kind of have to be real, or it's like not effective, Yeah, I know. It's felt like a really long day to get here, So, okay. I know I have enough food in my home right now. And again, they have to be true statements. And you want to kind of ramp up, right? And you say to yourself, today I made meals for my family that I felt were really healthy. And I believe in my heart that if I just focus on that, because I do, that's going to be what I can keep doing. And I take another step. I believe that I'm always going to be able to provide for my family, because I've always been able to do it, which is true to myself. I can also say, I believe I'm going to be okay now, because I have God and I have like that higher power. And I take another step. And then you could just say, I just decide right now to come into that space and find a little peace, because I do know that right now I am okay. Right now, this is all that matters. I don't know where we're going to be in a month. Right now, I'm okay. Right now, I'm okay. You know what I mean? And add more steps if you need it. You can change the words to however you want, depending on where you are. But like, you get the idea. You kind of start, I'm freaking out. And then you talk yourself kind of in a space of now, but through appreciation for what you do have now. Make it real to yourself. Make it believable so that you're consciously talking to yourself. Like, give yourself therapy. Say to yourself, self, this is true right now. Self, you're right, you're right. Self, this is true right now. Take a minute, you're right, you're right. And feel your body. The steps help connect. Anybody that knows about anxiety attacks know you need more than just, it's okay. If that was the case, no one would have anxiety attacks. It's more than just that. You have to get into your body. You have to shut your fucking eyes and you have to walk around the room or crawl, whatever you can do, because it's not that easy. And sure, you can take medicine or you can do other things, but if you don't have that available to you or whatever, for whatever reason right now, you could also try that. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about in the minute of someone making you unhappy, how you could try and then successfully use gratitude to like shift that whole thing, to break the pattern, and then to like give you clarity. Because believe it or not, energetically speaking, when we're with someone and we're getting something we don't like, there's at least two things happening right now. You have a belief about them and they are showing it true, because that's how law of attraction works. The second one is you're mirroring back something that you believe about yourself, or are resisting about yourself, or uncomfortable with about yourself in this person. And if you could take a moment and pause and say, hold on, why am I so fucking pissed right now? Why do I want to cut this guy? You know? And maybe it takes a couple of times. Maybe you cut him the first time. Don't cut him. Maybe it takes a couple times to get into the moment and slow it down. But you can. Because why? Why am I so upset? Like, why does this person get me this way? Because ultimately, we are the only ones that have any control over our emotions, and that's our point of attraction. It can take a minute to change that. You can't switch off years or weeks of momentum on a dime. So it takes a little practice. It takes thinking about it a couple of times, and it takes on purpose, and it takes it to be awkward and mechanical. Just like with the first time you rode a bike and it's just like tonk, 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 tonk. The first time you get into the car when you were first starting to drive. You know, the first time you do anything, to play the instrument, to do any like surgery, God, what, anything, like the first time I towed a car, all these things, it was just like, oh God, check this, do this, like that feels like a big deal. And then in the next minute, you're just like moving and shaking, and you can tow a car and sing a song and do a jig, and you're texting a motherfucker too. You know, you can do, like, you get the momentum going, you know, you do a little practice, get a little better, do a little practice, oh, that was good, get a little better. You know, you keep moving toward full success, and then you're ready for more, you know, but that's another show. So, and in gratitude, it's the same way. You practice feeling good about it. You practice reaching for high vibe, and you let it become a practice because you know, like, okay, at 3:00, that's my meditation time, and I'm going to do a couple minutes of this. Your body starts to get used to that pattern. That pattern ripples into bigger parts of the day. Now you're being triggered to think about appreciation when you're bored. Now you're being called to consider, what could I be appreciating in this moment instead of feeling angry? Like, it's gradual. It doesn't happen overnight, but it can be a real feeling and a real shift in your body with a little bit of practice. And gratitude is one of the easiest ways to do it, because almost all the time you can find something to be grateful for. Like, and even in a person who is giving you the blues, you know, if nothing else, start at my favorite way to start. It's like this clean slate. like for all the butt heads, all the people that hurt my feelings and are rude, if I let that happen even anymore, because now I just stay up in my bubble and it just doesn't usually come that way anymore. But I feel like it was last year, you know, every time I turned around, I was kind of getting hated on and I was getting my feelings hurt a little bit. And I was just like, you know what? That's okay. That's all right. And now, I just don't even notice. Which is way better. It makes, you know, because before, if it was happening, you know, I was more concerned about how other people feel than how I feel. If I'm more concerned about how other people are doing, I'm not delivering my message, I'm not doing my work. Well, I'm wasting my time. You know what I mean? So, and that's all of it. Like, all the criticism that I took to heart, instead of just, what can I learn from this? How do I make this mine? How do I answer this if someone asks me that question without crumbling and crying? You know, how do I own this shit? Like, and then I'm appreciative. You know, after that person bends you out of shape, you can really get appreciation for that person. And you guys know that. We've all had that person who's been that beeps, and then you guys are like in each other's, you know, you guys are buds. But, you know, it's almost like it took that icky sticky to get to the thick of it, you know, or whatever it is, or the awkwardness, or the assumptions about who you thought they were. You know, I can't tell you how many girlfriends I have or had where it was, oh my God, I thought you were such a bitch. Like, I said that to them, or they thought that about me, which I was. But, you know, like, but, you know, like, but there were times when it wasn't true. And you guys know what I'm saying. You can find appreciation. And if you start practicing that, that ripples into more of your day. That high vibration ripples into more of your day. You're getting more of that from other people, even the people that you don't normally have that from easy. Like, that's the best part. Like, the person that normally gets in your bum and gets you kind of pissed off, they can kind of be like, now a really great, a really, I don't even know the word I want right now, but yeah, I think you guys get the point. I'm gonna stop rambling because I'm so good at rambling. I could sing right now, but I won't. I don't have cameras on this end. It makes me bonkers. Oh, I see that guy though. Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, again, appreciation for yoga. Always appreciation, because for me, it's the ultimate practice. You know, there's ways to move your body that are really, really strong, and there's ways to move your body that are really, really still and soft. And it's really like nothing, there's no wrong or no rules about it. At least if you can get to that space in your head, you know, like literally every day, every practice could be totally different depending on your mood, you know, and depending on the time of the day, depending on what you need. And for me, like, having a space with just my mat set up is an easy run to, it's like an easy space to go to for downgrading that anxiety, or for trying to turn the mood around if you're wanting to do that, or for just to start creating your own mindfulness space, if that's something that you've been considering, because I think this is a really good time to do that, guys. One thing I appreciate in myself is I always have jokes. Maybe I'm the only one that gets them, but it's really funny to me. So let's do a little Shavasana. Let's do a little boat pose and then some Shavasana, because I feel like that'll get us in the mood to lay down a little. So first we're sitting up, okay? Let's first sit up. Inhale, press into the seat, lean the heart forward. Exhale, round the back like cat. Do cat-cow from where you're sitting. Inhale and exhale. When you inhale, you bring the cat. When you inhale, you bring the cow forward. And when you exhale, do the cat. One more time, and then we're going to open the shoulders a little. Around the back. Come up to a nice seat. Take a breath here. If you had your legs crossed, switch them. If you don't want to, that's okay. Take the arms from where they are, walk them out next to you, and then walk them a little bit more next to you, like alongside of where the sides of your body, more to like the beginnings of the back side of your bum are. Inhale, lift them up. Face them like you're going to do a big clap, and then reach them far, far away. Reach the fingers far away, and then gently look up. Press into your seat. Take them now and close them all the way forward, and slowly, slowly fold them in. Take one over top the other and grab each other's shoulder. Take a minute, wiggle your hands there. Get as much onto your shoulder. If you get your shoulder blades, that's great. I don't usually reach that far, but you want your elbows stacked. Do that. Take a minute, wiggle your arms into your most grippiest space. Most grippiest on here. See, I like to grab both shoulder caps and then right behind. So settle there for a second. Inhale, we're going to inhale our shoulders, inhale our elbows up, exhale them down. And we're going to do cat-cow motion with our body too, okay? Right now we're straight. Elbows are straight. Face, space. All this is straight. Jaws relaxed. Inhale. Lift as high as you can. Gently look up. Press into your seat here. Exhale, round the back in. Chin in. Oh, yay, on my back. Inhale, open it back up. Press into the seat. Gently look up. Don't drop the head. Exhale, fold it back in. Round it all the way. Come into a ball. Inhale, open up. Take your time. Exhale, close it back down. Inhale, open up. Exhale, down. One more time. Open it up. And then bring it back down. Shake it out. Let the arms come next to your side. And then just sit here for a minute in between, and then we'll do the other side. Shake the head a little no. Take a breath here. Reposition the legs if you like. Whichever arm was on top last time, put that guy on the bottom. First, walk the fingers away next to your body. Really next to your body. Walk them away. Inhale, flip them like you're going to clap. Reach them away out of the sockets. Gently look up. Gently look up, press into the seat, reach and like work those feet, you know? And then round it in, round the head a little this time. And then overlap the arms. Take the opposite arm on top. Oof, it feels so weird. Grab the shoulders, adjust. I like to go to my shoulder caps and then a little behind towards my shoulder blades. But again, I don't get all the way there. Your elbows are lined up as much as you can. Down in front of the belly, you know, with the nose. Let the face be nice and lined up. Inhale. Look up. Don't drop the head. Press into the feet here. Let the back arch. Exhale, round the back. Bring the head in. Round the shoulders and soften the belly. Inhale, look up. Bring the heart forward. Press, press, press. Gently look up. Don't drop the head. Exhale, soften, soften, soften. Round, round, round. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then just let your arms come down. Shake the head no. Shake the head no a lot. Let it go down into the spine. Shake the whole spine. Like start at the top. Work it into the middle. Let the arms start to tent out. Sorry, Harry. My bad. Don't beat the cat. My bad. I didn't see you. I had my eyes closed shut. Oh, is that why they let you come down here? Maybe sorry. Oh, keep doing your spine. All the way down to the lower. So you started with a shake in the head no, and you just worked it all the way down. And then start to slow it down. Start to let it all slow down all the way back up to the shoulders, the neck, the head. Slow the head down. Rest the crown in. Rest the face in. Round the back. Soften the belly. Just breathe. Feel any motion. Feel any movement. Let's sit up and put our feet flat onto the ground. Take a minute and adjust your bum so your soles are flat.
Stop eating that, Carrie boy.
Feet flat, knees bent. And then lean into your arms a little bit. I like to call it like you're at the beach, you know? Have your fingers pointed in toward the bum, or your thumbs pointed out away from the bum, whatever's comfortable, more comfortable, so that you can have your shoulders open and have the heart more forward. Press into there. Press into the feet. Inhale. Lift up the left. Inhale again. Lift up the right. See if you can hold that a minute. Press it back down. Press into the arms. Arch the back in. Gently look up. Exhale, realign. Readjust hip bones if you need to. Inhale, press into the hands, press into the sit bones. The right foot first this time, and then the left. Then if you want, you can try to bring the hands. See if you can find balance. Just be here for a minute. And then bring the feet down. Reset the hands. Press back into the, more into like the cow shape. Let the heart come forward. Gently look up. Don't drop the head. One more time. Reset to neutral. Inhale, press into the hands. Lift both feet. Inhale again. Lift the arms if you want. You can be here for a moment. And then exhale, let the feet go down. Let them go nice and long. And then lay back or get comfy and we'll do some Shavasana. Let me just find a little bit of tunes to go with our relax time. I'm feeling wind chimey. So let's imagine we're on the beach. We were just talking about beach while I was, if you were here. We were talking about the beach. One boat pose, you know? We were boat posing on the beach, right? So shut your eyes. Let's start to imagine the beach under our back, wherever we're sitting. Maybe we're just sitting. Maybe we're laying down. Maybe we're laying back. Get comfy. Start to imagine the beach. Start to imagine that everything underneath of you is sitting on the sand, you know, just like the beach. Start to imagine that everything underneath of you is sitting on the sand. All you can hear is the ocean, hopefully. And the other tunes. Let the eyes close. Imagine you're at the beach. Imagine how cool it would be to be laying on the sand. Actually, it could be really cool. Let's get a blanket. Let's cover up under the blanket, laying on the beach. That's a good idea. And now let's get comfy under the blanket, laying on the sand, listening to the waves. Maybe imagine the breath, breathing like the waves breathe. Every time you inhale, the waves come a little closer into the shore, and as you exhale, they go farther, farther, farther back to the big bodies of water. Kind of like when you exhale, the air goes back to the big body of our universe, you know. Lay on the beach, under the blanket. Breathe like the beach, breathe like the waves. Let your chest rise and fall like the ocean. Let your eyes relax deep in the sockets and shut them if you can, if you want. And wherever you're sitting, however you're sitting on the beach with me right now, under the blanket, with the sand behind us or under us and all around us, just us on the beach. Breathing like the waves. Think down to your toes and wiggle the toes. Squeeze the feet, squeeze the heels, maybe just in the mind. Make circles with the ankles. Just think to yourself, I'm on the beach and I'm relaxing my feet. Breathe like the waves. Inhale the water up to the feet. Exhale the water back to the big body of the ocean. Squeeze the shins, the muscles around the calves. Maybe squeeze the knees and the thighs. Under the blanket, laying on the beach. Breathe in like the waves. Inhale the waves up over the ankles, up through the shins and the knees. Water all the way up onto the thighs, and then exhale back to the body of the ocean. My legs are relaxed while I'm laying on the beach. Breathe in like the waves, laying underneath my blanket. Squeeze the hips. Maybe even wiggle the pelvis a little. Inhale the water over the feet, onto the shins, over the knees, past the thighs and into the pelvis. But we're under the blanket, so we're not getting wet. It's just covering us. Inhale the waves up the body and down the body back to the ocean. Take a breath in. Exhale, relax the lungs, relax the heart. Laying on the beach, under the blanket, breathing like the waves. We're not going to breathe the water all the way up that high. The water's breathing up and down the legs, not getting the body wet because we're under the blanket, the magical blanket. Listening to the waves, breathing with the waves. Relax the heart, relax the belly. Squeeze the hands and the forearms. The feet, the legs, the hips, the belly, the heart and the hands, arms, all relaxed, laying on the beach under the blanket, breathing like the waves. jaw can relax, the cheekbones, eyes, forehead, skull, whole body, laying on the beach, breathing like the waves, laying under the blanket, magical blanket. Nothing to do but just relax for a few moments. Relaxing on the beach. Start to deepen the breath. Maybe start to open the eyes just a little bit down to the floor, not all the way open. And each time you blink them a little more open. Reach up a little more. And then find something in your room, in your space where you are right now, and focus some gratitude, some appreciation. Think about it and focus it. And then mirror that back into your body. Send that feeling from yourself to it right now. And maybe later, whenever you walk in the room, you do that. Maybe then you start to trigger that every time you walk past it. Maybe that can help calm us down. Let's have a seat and close practice together. And we'll just rub the hands like we do. Create one last dose of energy, one last dose of self-love. Rub the sand off our body, off the beach. And then put them on the body wherever you like. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep seeing what happens. See y'all tomorrow.